You get up with a clear purpose, walk into the next room, and the exact second you cross the threshold, the thought is completely gone. You stand there, staring blankly, trying to retrieve an intention that was perfectly clear just 3 steps ago. This is known as the doorway effect. It happens because your brain organizes memory by your physical environment. When you pass through a doorway, it triggers a mental reset. The brain assumes you are entering a new context, so it literally closes the file on the previous room to make space for whatever comes next. Or try this. Pick a completely ordinary word, like chair, and repeat it out loud 10 times in a row. By the end, it stops sounding like a word at all. It just becomes a strange, alien collection of noises that means absolutely nothing. This phenomenon is called semantic saturation. By rapidly firing the exact same neural pathways over and over, those specific connections temporarily fatigue. For a brief window, the physical sound of the word disconnects from its conceptual meaning. We tend to assume we experience the world like an objective camera, accurately recording the raw reality in front of us. But these small, everyday lapses expose a serious vulnerability in how we process information. The truth is, your brain is a biological processor, constantly reconstructing the world around you. And just like any complex system, its internal logic occasionally encounters a bug. Take déjà vu and jamais vu. They occur when a mechanical timing error between the brain's new experience center and memory system causes pathways to cross over. The brain accidentally attaches a familiar tag to a novel moment, or mislabels a route as totally alien. When you scale that processing error up to the population level, you get the Mandela effect. This is where the brain acts as a predictive engine, working so aggressively to fill in the gaps of a memory, using logic and expectation, that millions of brains confidently construct the exact same false details. Countless people share a vivid memory of Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, but that memory is completely fabricated. He was actually released in 1990, lived to serve as South Africa's president, and passed away in 2013. These mass shared false memories are frequently blamed on people slipping between alternate timelines. In reality, they are proof that the human mind uses the same predictable, flawed logic to patch over missing data across millions of people. Sometimes the errors happen in real time. In Alice in Wonderland syndrome, spatial perception abruptly distorts. Their own hands might look far too small, or the room around them suddenly feels like it's stretching entirely out of proportion. Biologically, this happens when unusual electrical activity strikes the precise parts of the brain responsible for calculating scale and distance, causing those spatial judgments to wildly misfire. Author Lewis Carroll is widely believed to have suffered from these neurological misfires, directly inspiring the strange, resizing environments Alice navigates in his famous story. We miscalculate other humans, too. Think of the sudden, skin-crawling discomfort you feel when looking at a humanoid robot or a highly realistic wax figure. This is the uncanny valley. It triggers an ancient, unconscious pattern-matching alarm system. Early humans needed to detect subtle signs of illness, injury, or deception in others. So when we see something that looks almost human, but slightly wrong, our brain hits the panic button. When these visual processing systems glitch or throw a false positive, our physical surroundings are rendered as an unpredictable and biologically threatening landscape. Few things capture that threat quite like sleep paralysis. You wake up fully conscious, completely immobilized, and often sense a dark, motionless presence hovering right at the edge of your vision. To keep you from acting out your dreams, your body goes into lockdown during REM sleep. Sleep paralysis is a simple timing error, where that bodily lockdown fails to switch off upon waking, allowing dream state hallucinations to bleed directly into your conscious reality. The waking equivalents to this are derealization and depersonalization. Out of nowhere, the world might feel like a convincing movie set, or you might feel totally disconnected from your own physical body. Both of these conditions are severe psychological stress responses. When external pressure feels overwhelming, the brain intentionally dials down the vividness of reality to create a temporary emotional buffer. At its highest points of stress or sudden transition, the brain will literally sever your conscious connection to the physical world in a desperate attempt to protect you. For centuries, humanity lacked the vocabulary to describe these perceptual glitches. Faced with unexplainable dread, they blamed ghosts, witches, and supernatural visitations for the tricks played by their own nervous systems. One of the clearest signs of our biological constraints is something we all experience: childhood amnesia. For most of us, any clear memory from before the age of 3 or 4 simply does not exist. Those intense early years aren't magically lost. The brain's long-term storage drive, the hippocampus, simply wasn't physically developed enough to encode those experiences without the complex framework of language. Understanding the cold, mechanical reality of our biology, whether it's underdeveloped tissue or fatigued neural pathways, strips the fear out of the unknown. We aren't being haunted by dark entities or slipping through the cracks of alternate timelines. These glitches are rare, fascinating moments where the internal processes of the mind become visible, revealing the flawed but incredibly hard-working biological machinery keeping us alive.